Testing, 1, 2, 3, once again. If you are in the chat and you can hear me, please let me know so that I can get started. Alright, we got people in the chat, we got a camera, we got a mic, we got some thoughts. Let's talk about E3 Day 1. First of all, I just want to say, oh my god, I'm so tired. I don't know if E3 is probably the most fun a gamer can have, having not experienced something like PAX. But man, it is a tiring day. The LA Convention Center is huge. You stand in lines all day. There's no seats when you're playing games. You gotta basically stand up the whole time. And yeah, it's a lot of standing, a lot of walking, and a lot of tiredness. But let's talk about the games. Unfortunately, day one, I was focusing on a lot of video stuff. We're doing like a video swag hunt where we go to all the various booths and try to get as much swag as we can. It's a lot of fun. We got a couple of great scenes. What? No! Someone's asking me about the bed. I know it's a joke, but no bed explanation. Anyway, we were doing a swag hunt. We got a bunch of cool scenes. There's in the Capcom booth. They have for Dead Rising 3. They have a big enclosed chain link fence with a bunch of actors inside who are dressed up as zombies. And James was walking by them and asking them directions to where the swag was, and they played it off really well. It was really funny. But yeah, let's go right into Dark Souls 2, because that's what I spent my most time with today. And I already have a preview up on Gamefront.com. I don't know if you guys have gotten a chance to take a look at that. Those were my thoughts from a build that we got to play a couple weeks ago in Santa Monica, and the version I played today was basically the same demo, but the difficulty was just ramped up to about 13. It was already ramped up to 11, and this one ramped it up about two notches higher. It was really difficult, but I found out some really cool stuff. I found out that there's a part where you fight the guy with the turtle shell on his back, and then after you defeat that guy, there is an enemy that throws fire bombs, and the fire bombs have a really big explosion when they hit the ground. And I found out that if you're able to have the firebomb guy throw a bomb at the wall just to the left of him, the wall will shatter, and it'll lead you right to the next bonfire instead of having to go all the way around, the regular path. I just thought that was so cool to figure it out. Yeah, it was awesome. It cut off like about 10 to 15 minutes of difficult stuff. And then I got to fight the Mirror Knight again. I don't know if you read my preview, but I did not make it to the boss of the demo, the Mirror Knight, in my Santa Monica demo. I got to watch other people fight him, but this was really my first time going up against him. And I swear to God, when I was watching people play him in Santa Monica, the spells were doing more damage, so the attacks were doing more damage, because my great soul arrows did about 75 damage, and he has a lot of life. 75 damage is about that much, and I only have like, I think, 5 great soul arrows. Oh man, it was really frustrating, but it was a lot of fun. I don't think that they made that demo with the intention of it being beaten. I think they got a lot of They got the impression that people might have thought that Dark Souls 2 was going to be easier than Dark Souls 1, so they wanted to quickly nip that in the bud by making this demo really hard. But yeah, he actually, Helgash just said, I'd expect a Mirror Knight to have high magic defense. The sword attacks. I had a giant axe as well. The axe wasn't doing very much either. What did end up working, and I found this out late in my demo, which is why I probably, maybe had a better chance if I knew this before. But pyromancy works pretty well. You only get about 4 or 5 of the big fireball spells, and they take a really long time to cast. But if you land them, they dealt about 236 damage, which ended up being pretty good. But he was a lot of fun to fight. I don't know. Once again, if you haven't read my preview, go ahead. I talk a little bit about the Mirror Knight fight. I can tell you basically all of his attacks. I memorized all of his attacks. He has like a Ornstein or Innsmouth style thing where he jumps up and he slams his giant sword down. It's really easy to dodge. Then he has a basic, really long range sword combo. And then the big thing about him is that he puts his shield down, and when he does that, an enemy tries to break through. And if it succeeds, it'll be a 2-on-1 fight. You'll have to fight against a pretty tough enemy as well. In my preview, I said that if you manage to do enough damage to the mirror, it will break and he won't be able to summon him. I don't know if that's really the case. That was what I heard from a demonstrator. I tried everything that I could to break that damn shield. It would not work. So more importantly than that, when he puts down his shield, it's a good opportunity to just go to town on him, because he does not attack you when he has his shield down. But yeah, I mean, if I had more powerful spells and more powerful weapons, I could have taken him down. But I unfortunately had to leave my demo, like putting the controller down. Was like, this is impossible, and I just left. Darcia asked, did I hear about the new classes? The demo that I played today had 2 new classes that weren't in the Santa Monica demo. There was the Temple Knight and the Swordmaster. The Temple Knight was basically a cleric or whatever. He used miracles. I couldn't really figure out what some of the miracles did. It seemed like they were buffs. But he has this really awesome spell where he like lets out his staff, and just lightning shoots out forward for like 3 seconds and just hits everything in front of you. It was pretty awesome. Unfortunately, you only get 2. You only get 2 uses of that spell. And yeah, he was pretty cool. I got to the end of the demo with him. I couldn't beat the Mirror Knight with him. The best run I had against the Mirror Knight was with the Sorcerer, because the Sorcerer had like 7 spells, and they seemed to do the best against him. Oh man, who will do the walkthrough of Dark Souls 2 first, Mitch or James? Dark Souls 2 doesn't come out till 2014. Let's not predict what's going to happen that far away from now. But I would like to do the walkthrough first, just like I did for Dark Souls 1, and then be in a position where I can help James through the game. If we did a race to beat the game first, I mean, come on. You really think that James would beat me in a Dark Souls race? Come on. We actually, when we went into the Dark Souls 2 demo, it was me and James, and we were initially under the impression that we could film over the shoulder. So we were saying, this is awesome. Let's do a Mitch vs. James episode or something like that, where I go first. I try to get as far as I can in the demo. Wherever I die, that's the marker, and then James tries and see if he can beat it. But yeah, unfortunately, the lady who told us that we could film was wrong, and we weren't able to film any of our gameplay, unfortunately. Even though the gameplay is already well known, people have already seen everything that's in that demo. I really don't understand why they don't let us record it. And then I also got to talk to Yui Tanimura, I want to say. the director of Dark Souls 2. Got to ask him a bunch of questions. Unfortunately, he was pretty tight-lipped about pretty much everything. Wouldn't talk about multiplayer. Wouldn't talk about the story at all. But he did say that I got to ask him, will the delivery of the story be very similar to Dark Souls 1 in that, you know, it's very minimalist, kind of it's up to you to kind of piece out the story for yourself. And he did say that it would be similar to that. He wants the player to kind of find their own story in the game. So there's that about Dark Souls 2. I got to ask him about the dual swordsman class, which I basically just asked him, you know, dual swordsman has been you've been able to wield two swords in the past in Dark Souls, but it's never really been a viable strategy. What is going to be unique about the dual swordsman class in Dark Souls 2? And basically he said, yeah, you know, it wasn't really a great strategy in Dark Souls 1, but this time they're adding some unique weapon combination or unique combination attacks for the dual wielding. And I think I noticed when I used that character that when you did the forward attack, it basically was a parry. That's what it seemed like to me. I still think that there's a lot of disadvantages to dual wielding. Shields are so valuable in Dark Souls, and as I was playing with the dual swordsman class, maybe it was because I didn't really know the unique button combinations to do some of the special stuff, but I felt kind of crippled compared to the other available classes. Let's see what else. Yeah, the torch section basically, you know, it takes away that functionality. You just have a torch in one hand and a sword in the other. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention. They took out jumping. You cannot jump in Dark Souls 2 anymore. At least as of right now in the demo that I played. You could not jump. In fact, there was a gap that could easily be jumped across in Dark Souls 1, but because of the fact that you can't jump anymore, you had to go all the way around. Unless, of course, you learned the shortcut that I learned, and you throw the firebomb at the wall and go through to the bonfire. Also, this was kind of shocking. They took out the ragdoll physics. You know, when you kick enemies around when you're walking, which was kind of a bummer, because even though it looked really janky at times, I always kind of found that to be funny about Dark Souls and Demon Souls. It kind of added to some of the game's charm. So I was kind of sad to see that go. But at the same time, I can understand it. Will the torch sections be the new Blighttown? No idea. Honestly, though, I kind of like them. I wouldn't say it's the torch sections would be the new Blighttown. To me, it's more reminiscent of the Tomb of the Giants when you're using the Skull Lantern. But yeah, that's what that reminded me of. And it was fun. It added a lot of challenge to that section. One of the things that you gotta be careful of in the demo is, and it's funny, like, people suck at Dark Souls when you go to conventions. There was like one other person that was able to get to the Mirror Knight that I watched. It's pretty sad. But one of the things you gotta be really careful of in Dark Souls 2 is the enemies that play possum. I mentioned this also in my preview article, but my first death from the Santa Monica demo came because I was walking down into the torch area and not really checking out my surroundings. You know, I would maybe glance to see if there was a shiny or something like that, but I never really looked around the area. And that proved to be a big mistake because enemies in Dark Souls 2 have a tendency to play possum. When you get close or when you pass a certain point, enemies will rise up and follow you. So unfortunately, I got to the guy with the turtle shell, and as I was about to engage him, I got attacked from behind by about 3 enemies that woke up and followed me over to him. So, yeah, bummer. So that's Dark Souls 2. Are there any other questions about Dark Souls 2 that people have before I move on and talk about other stuff? I got to interview Troy Baker. That was awesome. You guys, I got to interview Troy Baker! At the very beginning of the day, before the doors even opened, I saw this really tall guy with, really nice blonde hair, well-dressed, and I'm like, is that James? That guy? I think that's Troy Baker. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm looking at him from behind, and then he does kind of a profile. I'm like, yeah, that's Troy Baker. And James ended up, tapping on the shoulder and asking him, "Are you Troy Baker?" He said, "Yes. Do you mind if we do a quick interview before the doors open?" And that's what we did. It was really awesome. I hope I kept the microphone steady, because my hands felt like it really wanted to shake out of nervousness. But it was cool. I got him to say, "Welcome to E3" in his Joker voice, which was awesome. Going back to Dark Souls 2, Pakumbi asks, are there still covenants? I believe there are, but once again, Tanimura wasn't willing to talk about multiplayer. God, I'm sorry. Blanked out. Let's see, what else? 3 weapon slots in one hand. Yes, the Temple Knight. Thank you for bringing that up. The Temple Knight, I don't know if this was something that was unique to the demo, but the Temple Knight was able to hold an axe, a partisan, and his thing, the miracle thing. It looked like a mace. It actually wasn't like a wand or anything like that. So yes, there are 3 weapons that you can hold in your right hand slot. At least for the Temple Knight. How long is the stream going to be? It's going to keep on going till I run out of shit to say. How are the graphics? Graphics are fantastic. I played it on a PS3, and I was told that the presentation was played on a PC, and that the PS3 version looked pretty much identical. So it looks really good. The lighting effects are fantastic. The animations look really good. Backstabs are really cool now. They feel a lot more fluid. It's not like you get around to the back and then you position yourself so that you can do a backstab. It's just you get around to the back, you smack them over the head, and then you do another unique attack. Some of them are pretty awesome. Like the katana, when you do a backstab, you slash them and you go like, and then you jump back. Or I don't know if you jump back, but you do a bunch of slashes. It's pretty cool. What else do we have here? Did they take off the slide on the stairs? No. What do you mean? You mean the ladder? You can still slide down ladders. Let's see. What else? What else? I think they took out the kick too. I'm not positive, but I don't remember ever being able to kick anyone. Yes, there are different backstab animations for different weapon types. That is absolutely the case. It felt like every character class had a unique backstab. Did I land any parries? No, I didn't land any parries. I didn't really feel the need to. The enemies, the basic enemies were pretty easy. The giant turtle-shelled enemies couldn't be parried, and the only one that would have a temptation to parry would be the statues that line the corridor leading to the boss door, and those guys were just so crazy. Like, I wouldn't even want to try to parry them, because I know that if they land one hit on me, I'm dead pretty much. Okay, let's see what else we have here. No, patches was not in the demo. Can you be interrupted during the backstab animation? No, you can't. How's the feel of the weapons? Do heavy weapons still feel slow? Yes. God. The leading up to the boss, the warrior and the temple knight felt great. They have the temple knight has a hand axe. He has a partisan, and he has a the mace that does the miracles, and then the warrior has like a short sword and a Zweihander, and the Zweihander is just so damn slow. It was absolutely useless against the Mirror Knight. It made that fight really hard when you were a warrior, because of the fact that your short sword didn't do enough damage to him, and the two-handed sword just felt like you were open after pretty much every attack. What else we got here? I wanted to ask Tanimura why you couldn't jump anymore, but unfortunately the problem with doing interviews with Japanese people who go through a translator is that it takes twice the time, because you gotta talk to the translator has to talk to them. Actually, it takes 3 times the amount of time, and then they have to talk back to the translator, and then they have to talk to you maybe even 4 times the amount of time. I don't know, just do the math. It's a lot of time, a lot of extra time they have to spend. But I wanted to ask why they took out the jump. I imagine it's because there were times in Dark Souls where maybe people jumped when, I don't know. I guess if you don't have a jump, it makes level design a lot easier, because you don't have to take into consideration, like, oh, what if someone jumps here? So maybe that was why. How do the healing stones work? The healing stones are actually very important. They pretty much saved my ass against the Mirror Knight. Basically, you have several different healing items this time. There are Estus flasks. There are health gem. I forgot what the actual name is, but we'll say healing stones. And then there's like something like a better version of the healing stone. And basically, when you use a healing stone, it seems like a longer cast, but you can move while casting it. The Estus flask, as soon as you start using it, you stop right there, and you're locked in the animation. The good part about the Estus flask, it restores your health very quickly. The good thing about the bad thing about the health gems is that they restore your health very slowly, but the trade-off is that you're able to move around while casting it. So say, an enemy is, you really need to use a health thing, and there's a pillar right to the right of you. You can use the health gem, and then while you're eating it, you move to the pillar to get some cover. Rolling felt pretty much the same. But I don't remember exactly how it worked in Dark Souls. Maybe someone can remind me. Unequipping my shield, the way the equip load seems to work is by what you have on at the moment. So if you put away your shield, you'll run a lot faster. It didn't seem to have anything to do with. Well, actually, I guess that's the same, right? Is that the same? I don't remember. I know it changed from Demon Souls to Dark Souls in terms of what caused you. Okay, that's exactly the same. Okay, you're right. So one of the things that became important in the sake of time, because the path leading up to the boss door for the Mirror Knight is very difficult, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of health, but you eventually learn you can just run through it. And if you take off your shield and you're like the sorcerer class who has light armor, you move really, really quickly. So you just run straight through, past the statues, You avoid the sorcerer who shoots a couple of bolts. And then this is also interesting. In order to go through a fog door, you have to hold down the X button instead of just pressing it. You're not immediately invulnerable as soon as you press the X button. You have to hold down the X button, and you'll kind of like slowly move your hand to the fog door, and then eventually you'll reach this point where you'll be invulnerable, and you'll be able to pass through. But there were a lot of times when, you know, I was rushing through it trying to get to the fog door. I held X, and I got slashed by something, and that was it. Oh, I didn't change my thing here. Hold on. Let's chat about E3 Day 1. Dark Souls 2. Can I update the game title here? Sweet. Alright, so now that that's fixed. Oh no, I lost all the stuff in the chat. If you just asked a question, please repeat it so that I can see it again. I lost all my... I lost all the things in the chat. Did you or anyone else there use the bow combat? There was no bow combat. The only classes were Warrior, Sorcerer, Temple Knight, and Swordmaster. Will it only be on current gen? It will be on the PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. There are no plans for a next gen version. How are the new armor designs? We've only seen the cover dude so far. They looked alright. I didn't really pay much attention to it. Are the healing stones just like the Estus flasks, or do they still have Estus flasks? We already kind of went over this, just to reiterate. Healing stones, you can use them while moving. They regenerate health very slowly, though. Estus flasks, as soon as you use it, you're locked in place until you finish the animation, but it restores a lot of health really quickly. Is there poise? I didn't really notice. The armor, none of the armors really seemed very heavy. They all moved at you know, at least medium speed, so I didn't really notice anything about poise. Do you know if there will be a public demo for download in the near future? I don't know. Will it only be on current gen? Just answered that. Did I see any new rings? There was absolutely no inventory management for demo reasons. They didn't want people dealing with that. They basically just gave you 4 preset classes, and you were set with whatever inventory they gave you. Okay, so Darcia basically said that the equip load system is not the same as Dark Souls. In Dark Souls, anything equipped in the alternate slots counted as equip burn. So that's different. As I was saying before, if you unequip your shield, you will move faster. That's assuming that, you know, the shield is heavy enough to make you slow. What else? Mitch, what did you think about Watch Dogs? Didn't get to play Watch Dogs. Every time I see a trailer for Watch Dogs, it blows me away. So I really want to play it, unfortunately. Every time it's shown at a conference, it seems like it's hands off, which is a bummer. Did I get to see the stats screen at all? No. Did you get to try out both controllers for the new systems? No. I haven't touched an Xbox One or PlayStation 4 yet. When will I be doing a Resistance-only character? Never. Nice bed, Mitch. Shut up. Let's see, what else do we have here? Does Dark Souls 2 have inventory weight? Again, I'm not sure because they didn't let us look at the inventory screen. Basically, they just had the 4 classes and didn't let us mess with anything else. Didn't see the Incredible X trailer, but one thing I wanted to mention, what did you guys think about that Smash Brothers trailer? I don't know. I'm a huge Smash Brothers fan, as you may know, but that trailer didn't really do much for me. The announcement for Mega Man was pretty cool. The Villager in Animal Crossing was pretty disappointing, and then also I checked the site, and another newcomer is going to be the Wii Fit Trainer. The Wii Fit Trainer. It's like a silhouette, and it does exercise moves. Why? Why? You have an entire catalog of storied Nintendo history to go through. Why do you choose Wii Fit Trainer as one of the highly regarded character slots on the roster of Super Smash Bros? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Who plays Wii Fit is going to be interested in Smash Brothers? Tell me. Someone. Doesn't make sense. I'm angry. I wish I didn't do that. I don't have a trash can here. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, girlfriend is calling me. I'll talk to her after I finish the stream. I also got to play Sonic Lost World, which was okay. I was actually expecting it to be a lot better. The parkour system that they talked about, which basically lets Sonic run into an object and then he runs up it instead of just completely stopping. It has issues. There were a bunch of times when I felt like I got caught in a wall because Sonic kept on running up it instead of jumping over it, and it was kind of annoying. But I think it shows promise. I'm kind of looking forward to it, and yeah. What else we got here? No, it's not. It's not just another Just Press Up Sonic. I think that was one of the things that they wanted to stop with Sonic Lost World. They basically made it so that your default, without holding anything, you move at walking speed. If you hold down the run button, Sonic will run, and then if you hold down the spin dash button, he'll do a spin dash. The bummer was that the spin dash actually isn't very fast. I was under the impression that Sonic basically had 3 speeds. It was walk, run, spin dash, and spin dash would then be the really fast speed when you were confident that you weren't going to die. And it wasn't like that at all. The spin dash not only didn't give you invulnerability, like I would spin dash into an enemy and I would still take damage, but it didn't really feel that quick. What else we got here? I really didn't get to play that many games today, like I was saying. I got to play Dark Souls 2, I got to play Sonic Lost World. I'm trying to think, did I get to play anything else? I really don't think so. Like I said, I was doing a lot of video stuff for this swag hunt that we're going to do. Tomorrow I'm going to see, I believe, Arkham Origins, and I think Saints Row 4, and we're also doing a lot more show floor stuff, so I should be able to play a lot more games on the show floor. But yeah, was I particularly impressed with anything that I saw? I mean, I was impressed by Dark Souls. Didn't get to see Infamous Second Son. I'm not even sure if that's available on the show floor for Sony. It might be behind closed doors. But then again, I didn't really get a chance to really check out Sony's booth. The thing is about the new console games is that most of them you need an appointment for. There's not a lot of new console stuff on the show floor because they know that if they have stuff on the show floor for the new consoles, you know, it's just gonna be a madhouse. So yeah, a lot of the stuff you either have to wait in a really long line for, or you have to have an appointment through the media. Am I excited about Kingdom Hearts 3? No, not really. If you asked me that about 6 years ago, I would have said yes. But my window for my excitement about Kingdom Hearts has closed a long time ago. But yeah, I was, let's see, any opinions about Battlefield 4? No, not really, because I suck at Battlefield 4. I suck at the Battlefield games, and regardless of how pretty Battlefield 4 looks, I'm sure I'm still going to suck at it. So I'm probably not gonna really enjoy it. Are there any other questions about Dark Souls 2? I mean, that's really the thing that I have the most experience with. The other stuff about E3, I pretty much only, you guys probably saw more than I did. Any cool celebrity sightings? I saw Ghost Robo. If you consider him a celebrity. As I mentioned earlier, I got to interview Troy Baker. Who else? I'm trying to think. I saw a couple of IGN people. How long was the demo? The demo, I would say, it's hard to say because I didn't beat it. If you take your time and you don't rush through it and you survive, I would say the entirety of the demo would probably be about 30, maybe 45 minutes. If you took your time, if you didn't die, and if you went through from beginning to end and you explored everything. No, there was not humanity in Dark Souls 2. Let's see. Oh, that's really nice of you to say. The Munch. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Maybe I don't really have that much control over giving people shirts outside of, for contests or for other things like yeah, mostly contests are what we give shirts away for. But yeah, I'm sure we'll have an opportunity for you to win a shirt or some E3 swag. We're gonna be giving away a lot of E3 swag in the near future. Is it me, or does the character movement in Dark Souls look less rigid? I don't know. Yeah, it seems a little smoother. Like I said, the backstabs in particular felt really smooth. It didn't seem like there was. You know how in Dark Souls you basically would move from you'd move to behind the enemy, and then as soon as you press the attack button, your character would kind of immediately go into his backstab animation. That was not the case in Dark Souls 2. It was very fluid in how you get to the back, you do an attack. It doesn't even look like a backstab when the backstab first happens. It looks like a regular attack when it starts, and then obviously you see the stab or the other animation that it uses. So it was really really smooth. Alright, I think I'm going to end this stream here. As soon as I answer Big No's question, what else am I excited to see / play at this year's E3? Arkham Origins, super excited to play because I'm a huge Batman Arkham City fan. Let's see, what else? Mario Kart 8, I'm really looking forward to play. The new Super Mario game. By the way, the Super Mario game, what is it? Super Mario 3D World or whatever, looks amazing. I am so happy with what they decided to do with that game, and I can't wait to play it. I hope I'll be able to play it with James. Yeah, 3D World. That's it. And then what else? Oh, Bayonetta 2. I saw a demo station for Bayonetta 2 that I really wanna spend some time with tomorrow. And God, a lot of Nintendo stuff. I mean, the Wii U finally has some stuff worth talking about. So I can't wait to to try some of that stuff out. I really want to play Dive Kick also. I want to play James and Dive Kick. That's going to be fun. But yeah, we're going to end the stream right here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I enlightened you on some of the things that I saw in Dark Souls 2. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, even though that's not really appropriate here. But anyway, bye-bye.